Hi. Um, okay, so to introduce a bit of the subject that I really want to talk about on this channel, which is anxiety, um, I prepared the anxiety tag, sort of. I kind of mixed some tags around, and I've never been tagged, of course, just started, but yeah. So, first question, when did you know you had anxiety? I always was an anxious person, even like as a child, I was always very shy and anxious and scared about what, like, the world around me. And I had my first anxiety attack or panic attack, like call it whatever you want. I think I was around 10 years old, which is pretty early. Like, in my head, if I see a child having a panic attack, it's pretty scary. So, yeah. And I remember that I had this panic attack basically thinking about death and like how it would feel, and then telling myself that anyway you couldn't feel anything, you wouldn't be there, like you don't exist anymore, and just the idea of not existing and the idea of not being here anymore just really scared me, and I had a panic attack. And I began thinking about death just after watching the trailer of The Exorcist, which is kind of funny to think about. I was also officially diagnosed when I was 15 years old, so quite a bit of time after my first panic attack. And it was also the first time that I've ever seen a therapist. So some parents would force their child to see a therapist if they have a panic attack or anything, but mine they tried their best to help first by themselves. And it was me who actually asked my parents to see a therapist when I was 15, because depression came around too, and it was just a lot. And the first time I've seen this therapist, she didn't really diagnose me with depression. She just told me I had anxiety, and depression is just a bit more. She wanted to take her time basically to diagnose me with other mental illnesses, which I've been diagnosed with them afterwards with other therapists. I just saw her like 2 times, I think. Second question, what are some situations that trigger your anxiety? The first thing that came to my mind when reading this question was places. Crowded places, yeah. Like concerts. Also sometimes lines, like when you're waiting in line for to check out at a grocery store. A grocery store. Sorry, I'm just very tired. Yeah, this triggers me a lot because I just feel like I can't get out. When I feel like I can't get out of a place, usually I begin to hyperventilate and just go into a panic attack, because I want to be in control of where I am and what I do, and just being in a place where I can't get out or I'm forced in is very triggering to me for some reason. But the funny thing is that crowded places scare me and make me very anxious, but also loneliness scares me a lot. And I'm very anxious when I'm lonely, basically because when I'm alone with my thoughts, and my thought process is very bad, I guess. I have kind of a tendency to self-harm, And so, yeah, just being alone with my thoughts is not a good idea. And when I'm alone, I'm very quick to have a panic attack because I overthink everything, and if there's nothing to stop me thinking, then I'll just go into a panic attack. And yeah, yeah. Third question: what does it feel like to have anxiety slash having a panic attack? For anxiety, it's like you're sorry. It's like you're always having a bad friend with you in your head, and this friend loves to stress you out, and it always reminds you of the useless little things that have no importance, but just to prove their point, they will just remind you of those little things. Like if you said hi to someone and someone didn't say you hi back, then you will think I did something wrong. You did nothing wrong, just the person wasn't in the mood or he didn't hear you. Like, this could happen, but your mind, your anxiety will tell you that you've done something wrong. Maybe it's your fault, maybe he thought you were crazy or weird, maybe he was scared of you, maybe, I don't know. And he will just tell you about those little things to reinforce the feeling that they are right. So usually the more and more little things you will like tell yourself, the more you will feel like this is right and this is exactly what happened, which is totally false. Like, it's not true at all. It's the contrary, but your mind works like this when you have anxiety. And for the panic attack, for me, I know that for some people other things can happen, but it's me how I experience it. It's like basically someone is violently grabbing my heart and just torn it apart. Like, he presses it so hard. I feel like it's gonna come out. Also, I can't breathe. I hyperventilate a lot when I'm anxious and having a panic attack. Like, I go a lot, and like, you just can't breathe normally. Sometimes it will go for so long that you'll feel lightheaded. So you can basically not die, but like, I guess not die. I don't know if you can die from panic attack. I don't know. Should look that up actually. Probably not. It will scare me. Okay. It feels like you basically can't control your body. Like, everything is uncontrollable. Your breath, your breathing, like you just can't control it anymore. You can try to regulate it, but it will still be very fast, and your thought process is very, like, it's fucked up. Like, you think so much at the same time and you feel so much at the same time. It's really hard to control, and your chest, you can feel your heart beating faster and faster, and it's so scary. And like, you just want, personally, when I have a panic attack, I just want a hug. I always am the person who gives hugs to people, because that's always what I want when I'm sad. I just want a hug, for real. And also you cry a lot. Like, you just cry, and again, you can't control it. It just, you cry, and you hyperventilate, and your heart's going like crazy, and you can't control it, and your thoughts are all over the place. Yeah. Question number 4. What are some coping skills that helps you with your anxiety? Um, I'm kind of the artsy type, so for a lot of things, like before I really got into drawing and music and all that kind of stuff, one of my coping mechanisms was cutting and burning, but these are bad. You should not do that. It's not good for your mind, it's not good for your body, for the people around you. It's not good at all. You should not do that. This is a bad coping mechanism. Really unhealthy to do. So I, little by little, started to replace the self-harm coping mechanisms by things like singing, playing guitar or ukulele, dancing, also drawing, basically things to get your feelings out, which seems kind of simplistic, simple, but singing, just basically when you feel like a song really hits deep, basically that's the first song I will want to learn how to play it with a guitar or ukulele and sing it, because, and sometimes I will end up crying silently while playing it, because it hits deep, but it feels good too, to feel that these feelings are valid, like someone else is feeling the same thing as you, so you can feel them. Dancing, just to get a hand on your body again, because when you have a panic attack again, you can't control your body, but when you dance, you have the control, and you do beautiful things, beautiful movements with your body, so it's great. And drawing, basically, even if it's a little doodle or just something really, really, really bad, it really helps. Like, I don't know how, I can't really explain it, but it really helps. Painting, drawing, just, it keeps your mind occupied, that's the right word, occupied, and so you just think about something else. You can't focus on all those bad things that your anxiety is trying to make you think about, and you think about these that are very much more helpful, because it helps you get the feelings, the bad feelings out, and replace it by art, which is beautiful most of the time. Also, seeing my friends, I'm sorry, I'm turning the page. Seeing my friends, like, because again, when I'm lonely, I overthink a lot when I'm alone, and so being with my friends helps also. It's a way to keep your mind occupied, because you talk with people, you are with them, you communicate, and it's really helpful. Yeah. Question number 5. Have you ever had treatment, therapy, or medication for your anxiety? I think, first, I never had any type of treatment or medication for anxiety, for any of my mental illnesses. Like, I've never had medication. I don't like medication. Um, for myself, at least. I know that for some people who are very depressed, like, I have family members who have depression too, and who take antidepressants, and it really helps them. And the thing is, the thing is that you don't want to get stuck into those antidepressants. Basically, you want to help your brain. You train your brain into a good thought process for the future. And for me, if you have medication, of course you're going to, like, little by little, like, make the doses and all very much tinier with time, and that's the good thing about it. That's that in the end you won't even need it anymore. It's just a way to train your brain into functioning right again. I've never had that. I never had medication. My therapists that I've seen didn't never thought that it would help. Basically, the last therapist I had, which was, she is a fucking cutie. Like, I love her so much. She's so good. She basically told me to come see her once a week, which I did. And so I saw her once a week and just talked to her. And it's really weird because she never asked me like, how are your mental health? Are you feeling depressed? She never asked me that. Basically, I came to her and I talked like I was talking to a friend. I talked about random things, very random things, tiny things like my friends, what I did. I even told her that I drank alcohol underage and that I tried weed. Like, I told her about a lot of things, and she was talking to me like a friend too, and she was talking about her husband and her child, and just, it was great. It was really great. And in a way, I still don't understand really how it did me so good to talk to her, but it did, because she always gave me good advices. And it's at that time that I thought, I don't care about what I receive, I just want to give. And that's the best I've ever felt in my entire life. I decided that I wanted to give love and affection to people. That's the time I really gave hugs at any time to anyone. And it felt so good to give love, basically, to give good to people. It felt really good because I felt like I was needed in a way, even if no one asked for it, I just gave it. But soon people were coming to me for hugs. I wasn't giving them, I was asked for them, and that's just a good feeling. Yeah. Question number 6. The video is, oh my god, it's long. Question number 6. What are some misconceptions about anxiety that you want to change? I'm going to try and make this quick because the video is really long. Basically, people with anxiety can function. They can, really. Many people in this society think that people with anxiety, depression, basically any mental illness, can't function normally. That they are just not humans in a way, like that they can't do simple tasks. And in really, really bad stages of mental illnesses, that's true, but most of the time it's not, because mental illnesses are hidden. For depression, for example, and it's also true for a lot of people who have anxiety, but people would never reach for help or basically tell a friend about how they feel, about how anxious they are, how depressed they are, because it makes them vulnerable. And in our society, being vulnerable is being weak. And fuck, you are not weak for having a mental illness. If I had to say, it's even the opposite. It makes you stronger. Like, people don't realize how strong you have to be to live with a mental illness and make life work and just do like nothing is happening. Just do life with these like nothing's happening. This is so hard and people don't realize it, and people think it's like a handicap or something, but no, not at all. Like, you are wonderful. If you have a mental illness, basically you should reach out for help and accept to be vulnerable, because that is what will make you feel better in the end. Talking about it with people, with a therapist, a psychiatrist, a friend, basically talking about it with someone who understands and listens to you, that's just, I think, the best thing you can do. And I just hope you have a good life in the end. I don't know how to end this video, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, that's the end. There's no questions anymore, and it's 20 minutes long. Oh my god, it's so long. Thank you for listening to me rambling about my life and anxiety, and I wish you a good day and bye.